they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today.
Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. This is a Cash Kelly AC Sports Report. Huge news coming out of the NFL right now. It actually just broke. This is Andrew Brandt of ESPN has reported this, that Michael Vick and the Eagles have agreed to a 6-year deal worth $100 million with $40 million guaranteed. Now, you guys all know at the beginning of last year, I was not a fan of Vick, not because of dogfighting, but because I just didn't think he had what it took. Based off what I had seen in Atlanta, I didn't think he had what it took to win a Super Bowl, and you know, he still might not, and that's the part that concerns me about this deal, is that down the stretch, Michael Vick kind of wore down. I understand that was partially the offensive line, but it did seem like a lot of the more elite defenses, such as the Bears and the Giants for a few quarters, kind of got a blueprint on this guy. And if you can get that off him playing 12 games, well, in 2 years, what are you going to know about Michael Vick? There's a few reasons that I'm not a fan of this deal. First of all, I just don't get the timing of it. I think that you should have locked up Deshaun Jackson first. Absolutely should have locked up Deshaun Jackson first. Because Michael Vick, just off skill-wise, is a top 15 quarterback with the Eagles. I think he's a top 7 quarterback. I'd put him behind Brady, Manning, Rivers, Rodgers, Breeze. I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I think that Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin really help him to be what he is. Playing for the Eagles really helps him to be what he is. And if you don't have Deshaun Jackson at the end of the season, then isn't that really going to take away from what Michael Vick is? Secondly, or whatever part I'm at, Michael Vick proved this stuff for 1 year. Based off his entire career, he's been somewhat of a bust. Last season, he had by far his best season. In his days in Atlanta, I understand he was a completely different quarterback. He didn't prove anything because he couldn't throw, and a lot of that was the team he was with and the coaching. But in the end, he didn't prove much. And I don't know. I just think it was too quick to give the deal. I mean, I understand ideally you would like to wait till weeks, basically the end of the season, and see what he does this season, and then say, okay, we'll give you the money. But at that point, Michael Vick might say, well, yeah, you had all season to lock me up. Now I'm going to test the free agent market. I'm in a lot of debt, and I need to go get some money. And I'm going to look at some of the other offers, and it would be very possible we could see him leave. So obviously you can't wait that long. I mean, that part is obvious. But I don't understand why you couldn't do what the Packers did with Aaron Rodgers and wait till like week 6 or 7 in the season and then lock the guy up. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. You could have waited till then. I think Deshaun Jackson should have been the guy that you locked up first. That's my opinion, and I really think that I'm happy to have Michael Vick here long term. I understand that, and I still do think Michael Vick is going to be successful long term. But there were things late in last season that you could look at and say, wow, maybe they figured him out. Maybe things. You know, maybe Michael Vick isn't what he played the first 12 weeks. Maybe he is. Maybe he's close to that. He's not what he played especially in like that Redskins Monday Night Football game. But you could look at him and say, maybe he's only a top 12 quarterback, who in that case is not worth. I mean, don't even look at the 6 years, $100 million, because that basically means nothing. Just look at the $40 million guaranteed, which is a ton. I know it's for a quarterback, but for one who has all the injury risk just in the next few years, that is a ton of money to be shelling out if you got a guy sitting on the sideline. If Michael Vick, God forbid, would late in this season get a sports hernia or tear his ACL and be out through the end of this season and next year, well, we don't have any money to go out and get anybody else. And that was one of the reasons that I said we need to trade Kevin Cobb, but I would have preferred keeping him here because I still think he has a lot of potential. There's a lot of ways to look at this Michael Vick thing. Remember to keep the personal views about Michael Vick out of it. You got to look at what he did last year, where he had a tremendous season, and basically just hope as an Eagles fan that he can come close to what he did last year, because I think that he's a very good quarterback, but I'm not sure if he's worth the money right away that they paid him right now. And I am concerned that you could get stuck with this deal for a couple years, the way the Redskins kind of did with Albert Haynesworth. Not to the point where he's not going to play and that type of thing, but $40 million guaranteed. Most of it comes up front, and if he doesn't work out, or if he's just like a top 15 quarterback, they're screwed because they're trying to win. And the final part of this deal that really I don't like is when you commit to the quarterback, partially you kind of commit to the head coach. And I'm not on the commit to Andy Reid long term after 12 years of coming up short in the playoffs bandwagon. He's a great planning coach and one of the worst game day coaches in the NFL. And if I have to watch if this means I have to watch 6 more years of Andy Reid's refusal to run the ball or get a non-undersized middle linebacker or something like that, then I might not be as big a fan of the deal. So we'll have to see. For now, I'm Tim. This is a Cash Gun AC Sports Report. Subscribe, find us on Twitter, Facebook, all the social networks. We will see you later.